it's always the reverse usually of what business owners think. They think that by putting some of these things in place, that it's going to be okay. Well, this is going to be a lot more work. So the answer is yes, it's going to be intense for just a small period of time, but then it's going to get a lot better, right? There's like in economics, there's a certain point where if you're a producer, right, you can manufacture and you have people who are manufacturing, you have your labor, right? And then you hit this this equilibrium where you have the most production out of everyone who's working for you at this particular point on the curve. And then production starts to drop because if you continue to hire labor, you have way too many people to do this thing. And so your efficiency starts to go down. And so oftentimes what I see is this kind of drop in effort and energy and will with business owners because they hit critical mass with the things that they have to do in business, and then just creating processes is just another one of them. But what they don't understand is that processes are like the great multiplier with businesses, and especially with AI, right?
Right. Oh, there are so many tools out there. And I think what you just said, one is it's not for sanity today. It's also for my multiple of my exit tomorrow. Right. So not only is it going to free me today, and systems and processes free us. Right. And I love what your analogy is, because we look for the constraint. In essence, we're a theory of constraint agency. Where is the constraint in your sales process? Where is the constraint in your pipeline? And how do we feed that constraint and remove that constraint? But another constraint is going to happen. Right. So that's why we keep on testing and looking things through. And, the systems and the process, a little bit of pain today pays dividends tomorrow, pays dividends the next day. And I'm sure you're in businesses just like I am, and you could just tell from the beginning what businesses is running on systems and processes and which one is just running on hecticness and chaos, right? I just feel it when you walk in. I walked into some clients, you're like, oh, this is a machine. This is going to be fun to work with them. And once we just get the sales processes going, because everything else, the operations processes really do, really work in most organizations that have thought about it, because a lot of times the entrepreneur is an operator, right? They kind of come from that. And so they do have systems and processes and SOPs. And if not, they need them. But what you said was spot on, right? The constraint in the business, in every part of your business, needs to be thought of. And where is that constraint? And how do I remove that constraint? And then now, how do I add to my multiple? How do I add to my exit? If you're thinking about that, even if it's 3 years out or 5 years out, start with systems and processes on all departments, but especially in the sales.
How do you get past the purple haze of just the enormity of creating the systems and processes? Because I think, obviously the reason why you all are successful and you have jobs is because there's a lot of people who haven't thought about what you thought about. And then of course you have to present it to them, and they have to roll it out. So how do you help business owners overcome just the thought of the enormity of implementation?
Well, so first off, any type of interview that quotes Jimi Hendrix is going to be a good interview, right? It's just the nature of the business. And we're going to talk about Purple Haze. It's just going to be phenomenal. But so I think one of the things you have to do is you have to realize, one is it's bite size, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. We're not going to have 1,000 systems and processes. And listen, we take founder clients all the time, and they want X solved within tomorrow. And so we just say, listen, pump the brakes. It ain't going to happen, right? I didn't break it in 15 years. I'm not going to fix it in 15 minutes, right? So and that just comes with having the confidence to have this conversation. And a lot of times, especially with small business people, is we just grab that first check and we get excited about it, and we deposit it, and now we want to move to X. So I realize that. And I also realize that everything I do is really goes back to how I started, is really testing it, right? And so where is the biggest problem? A lot of times it might be in the middle of the discovery. The business owner probably thinks it's the sales team isn't closing hard enough or enough. That's probably not the truth. The problem is they're probably not doing a really good job in discovery and building that needs analysis and solving for the pain, right? And so we have to get in there. So we really we break it down into pieces, then we test and we change it. So like I was just with one today where the business owner swore it was a one call close.
Mm.
After being in it for 60 days, I realized it's a 2 to 3 call close, right? And I even had the conversation last Friday without the business owner with the sales team. I said, guys, I don't think this is a one call close, right? So now we got to change our scripting. We got to change our discovery. We have to change our positioning so that so it goes that way. Because if you're trying to solve for X and you realize it's really B, I now have to solve for B. So therefore I have to change things along the way. And that's just, that's just the nature of business. That's just the nature of every business. If everything was running smooth, listen, there wouldn't be a need for us, but it doesn't. And so we come in, one is we're a fresh set of eyes. Two is we could focus completely on it. Our team could focus completely on it. We could do the data analysis sans anybody else, right? Because we get all the data, we distill it, we know what to look for. And then from there, we just keep on testing, keep on testing, keep on testing, keep on testing, keep on testing. But that goes back to that upfront contract that you have with the client and saying, this is what it's going to look like, right? And if you want an immediate fix, it ain't going to be it. Go find one of the marketing firms on the internet that's going to promise you the immediate fix.